So we have all of these wonderful posts in Facebook forums right now for drivers asking the same question. And that is, should I drive on the 4th of July? My answer is going to be the same that it always is. And that is market, market, market. Every market's going to be different in this regard. You need to know what yours is. I have driven the Forest Lake, Minnesota market now for the past 4 years. I already know the answer to this question for me, but it's not going to be the same for you. And reasons are pretty simple. This is a very localized scenario. You see, Forest Lake is a city of a population of about 20,000. It is an exurb of the Twin Cities, so we're kind of out here a ways. This place functions more like a small town than it does a suburb. As such, there's a 4th of July parade that happens every year. Marches down the two main drags in town, Broadway and Highway 61 or Lake Street South. These are the two main arterials in the city of Forest Lake. This parade occupies both roads every single year. Therefore, what it does on the 4th of July every year is pretty simple. There's a ripple effect across the city of Forest Lake. All 20,000 residents are affected in some way or another. So your routes to pick up from restaurants or even in-town drop-offs are severely disrupted. There are some drop-offs that you can't even make because either the parade route or the parade setup has that street blocked. So some customers you can't even deliver to. And so that would become a very difficult situation. You got to address it directly with support. And you're not going to necessarily want to while a whole bunch of people are in parades. So with that said, the answer in this market for me personally is absolutely not. I'm not driving on the 4th because of that parade, at least not until the parade is over. So most of the restaurants, the traffic effects ripple across the city. Every road is backed up because it's either part of the detour route or everybody's trying to avoid the detour route. And the other side streets, such as 12th Street Southwest, 11th Avenue Southwest, those are all clogged because everybody's trying to get around the center of town or downtown Forest Lake, which is the center of the parade. So in my market, I don't drive. It's just not going to happen. Now, in your market, if you're in the middle of a dense urban area where these 4th of July parades don't necessarily operate, if that doesn't matter in your area, then you might consider it like a normal day. With that said, if you're in an area where that whole national 4th of July 250th anniversary comes into play and you've got festivities around that, you want to check that for that information. You want to check to see what kind of festivities may or may not be going on in your market, your town. This is a localized business. Nothing beats local knowledge when it comes to door dashing. A national forum is not going to give you the answers that make sense for you. Never will. So get off your butt and just figure it out yourself. Figure out the festivities, figure out the schedules, figure out the parades, figure out those things. That's going to give you the answer to your question for you. I can't do that for you. I don't live where you do. I probably live hundreds of miles from you. I can't answer that question. Your national forums are not going to be able to answer that question. Only you can answer this question. And that is, should you be driving on the 4th of July? Again, as I just explained, for me the answer is no. It has nothing to do with being lazy. It has everything to do with the ability to get around Forest Lake, Minnesota. You're not going to be able to. You just can't. And for that reason, I will not be driving. I'll not be doing DoorDash or Uber Eats deliveries. I've been doing none of those things. I may go to the parade and watch myself. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But anyhow, that's it for this go around. That's to answer your question. Yes, what if I told you that your Whether you or not you should drive on the 4th of July is going to be entirely dependent on your local market conditions, which is usually my answer to most of these questions. Figure it out yourself. Get off your rear end. Stop depending on national forums to get your answers to these questions. Start researching your market. Start researching the calendar events. Figure out what's going on the 4th. That will provide you your answer a lot faster than anybody across the country on some Facebook forum is going to be able to. Stop being lazy and just figure that answer out yourself. That's it for now. Peace out, homies.